Blessings, beautiful soul, and welcome into the sanctuary of the School of the Soul. My name is Phoebe, and I am the founder of the School of the Soul, a soul teacher and a spiritual midwife, as well as a shamanic astrologist, which is the tool that I use to help people tune into their journey as a soul, right? The cosmic blueprint of their soul's journey. So tonight I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the correlation between the release of the Epstein files and what is going on spiritually right now. So right now, humans are in the biggest ascension portal of human history. We are literally in an extremely accelerated ascension moment, meaning that there is a great opportunity to ascend into a higher timeline. What do I mean with that? What I mean with that is that there is an incredible opportunity to raise your frequency, to move yourself out of lower vibrational patterns, programs, ways of thinking, ways of behaving, ways of reacting to the world. This is a time when we are very supported energetically to make new choices. And to really step into the work that we came to do, right? To be able to silence the noise, to turn off the chaos, and to really lock in to our soul purpose, right? To learn how to take care of our energetic sensitivities, to learn how to hone those gifts so that we can do the work that we came here to do as souls. So, what I would like to remind you is that yes, the information that is being released right now in the mainstream reality, in the external world, as we like to say, it is quite disturbing. And this great reckoning had to happen because this is a time when mistruth, misuse of power is being exposed, right? So this basically was exposed during the weekend of the Leo full moon, right? And it's the Great Illumination. This is the time of the Great Illumination. And the purpose of this Great Illumination, of this Great Reckoning, is not for you to get distracted from what needs to be the focus of your journey right now, right? The goal is for you to see things for what they are. And yet, many people will fail this rite of passage, will miss this entire opportunity to upgrade because they will allow themselves to be completely distracted. Number two, let's talk about the fact that the content of these files is highly triggering for most humans, right? Most humans on this planet cannot fathom the information that is held there. It's highly triggering, and this highly triggering process puts people into a nervous system overwhelm, right? Meaning it's hard to focus on what you're supposed to do because your system is in a state of distress, right? So once again, here we are in this beautiful, beautiful portal of awakening. We are in this moment where ascension, meaning moving into a higher vibrational timeline, meaning moving into a higher experience of what it means to be human, is available to us. However, many people will not claim that opportunity because they will allow themselves to be distracted. They will allow themselves to be triggered. Which leads me to the next point, which is that I honestly didn't realize that most of humanity didn't know about this. You know, as a spiritualist, as an intuitive, as someone who channels, as someone who brings through transmissions, as someone who listens to the transmissions of highly elevated teachers, I thought everyone knew all these things. Yes, you know, there's a lot of details that have been released, but I thought that people knew about the very demonic nature of these so-called leaders. And so it's a lot. I can understand if you didn't know, it's a lot. And at the same time, there's a level of collusion, if that's a word in English. My brain is very Spanglish right now because I'm living in a Spanish-speaking country. But there's a level of how did people not know, right? Like the signs have been there. If you did a little bit of research, if you went down a little bit of a wormhole, at least for me, the way that spirit shows me things, I mean, the information has been there for a long time. It's been very available for a long time. Maybe it wasn't put on, the mass media, but it's been there. So, all this to say, like, if you need to have a process about this whole situation, about what's been revealed in there, have your process, and then let's wrap it up and move on. Because just as we can distract ourselves with all the trauma going on in the world right now, it's the same with this situation, right? How are you going to help anything or anyone if you are in a completely triggered and dysregulated state? You're not. So yes, I understand it's triggering, it's upsetting, it's activating. So turn off the news, turn off your phone, stay away from social media, okay? And process what you need to process, right? Handle this in an energetically mature manner. And then move on to what it is that you need to be doing right now, because literally we are in one of the most beautiful energetic experiences of our lifetime, okay? We have access to incredible energetic upgrades right now. And more than that, we have the opportunity to really step into what we came to do here as souls, all right? And what we came to do here as souls is to live our soul purpose, which is to connect the way that we are cosmically designed, the way that we are gifted in moving through this world, to our soul purpose, and to begin to live that, right? And to be able to tune in on the level of the soul to what it is that we are moving through right now, right? Which is what I call soul intelligence. We are being given the opportunity right now to end a soul cycle and to begin a whole new lifetime. Not just a new chapter, not just a new book, a whole new lifetime is available to us because of energetically what is taking place right now, which I've talked about in other places and I'm not going to get into right now. So, all this to say, please be efficient with your energy, okay? Be efficient with your energy. Do not allow what's going on in the outer world to sabotage what it is that you came here to do, all right? And, it could be that some of what's coming up, some of what's triggering you is related to what it is that you came to master in this soul cycle, right? And that's why I'm going to be teaching about this very soon on February 15th, 2 days before this epic solar eclipse, 5 days before the Saturn-Neptune injunction. I will be teaching a master soul class that's all about soul intelligence, how to tap into, how to connect with the cosmic intelligence of your soul, right? Which means to align with what your soul is doing, why you came here, all right? Which is also why I teach astrology, and I'll get into that more later. The point is this. If you have always wondered why I don't talk about politics, it's because I hope that you can now see that the political parties eat from the same table, which is the table of making money at whatever means necessary, right? That's what politics is, at least in the United States of America. And I know that because I worked on Capitol Hill, and I got to see how it works, which is why I was very disgusted and left that system behind to pursue a different path. Which is why I've always said the only thing that could ever make a difference and ever be worth anyone's time in politics is campaign finance reform, which would remove money from politics. However, that will never happen because the whole way our political system works is based on the way that money controls policy and politicians, right? Which is why the system has to be and will be completely broken down, right? And I want to end on that point, which is that I want everyone to understand that we are at the beginning of the Great Awakening. We are at the beginning of the breakdown of the system as we know it. Okay? The law of physics dictates that these very low vibrational systems that were built back in the middle of slavery times, when the only people who had any power or who could do anything were white men, right, with education, right? Those systems have to be rebuilt, meaning that they will crumble. And if you think that the people who still hold power in those systems are going to give up that power easily, you're wrong. This is going to be a process. And so it is very important that we learn from now to self-regulate and to silence the noise. That doesn't mean don't participate in the Great Awakening. What it means is participate in the co-creation of the new earth. What it means is find something to do that's practical, and don't participate in the chaos and the distraction, because that's all that it is, right? Find something you can do, right? Instead of watching the news and allowing yourself to get traumatized and triggered and activated, where your nervous system is a wreck and you are literally useless to anyone and everyone, find something practical you can do. Start a fundraiser and start a family that has been affected by ICE. You know, start a fundraiser to help an organization that is doing solidarity work in Gaza. Do something practical and real. But don't spend your time watching and consuming news that is causing you to suffer. Because you being in a state of suffering is literally helping no one. All right? So I think I've covered everything. Everything is not always what it seems, is it? That's why this is the Great Awakening. So stay in your lane, stay focused on what you came here to do. I personally believe that this Saturn-Neptune conjunction is very related to the opening of a new timeline that relates to you doing the thing you've always known you came to do. There's something that you came to do. It's a vision. It's in your heart. You've always seen it. You've always felt it. It's time for us to start taking action towards those goals and those dreams. Right, and to step into co-collaboration with the universe, with our community, on these beautiful visions that we came to make manifest here on this beautiful earth. So let me know your thoughts, Soul Tribe. Sending you a big hug. Blessed love.